mixed methods, midwifery, and meteorology. I'm sure to all of you that just sounds like 3 random words that start with the letter M. But for me, these are key disciplines and approaches that allow me to more holistically understand Black birthing outcomes. My undergraduate degree in meteorology and atmospheric science led me to my PhD here in geography with the goal of studying relationships between temperature and birth outcomes. However, I was put off by the way that racial disparities were discussed within maternal child health literature early in my studies. For example, a popular statistic when discussing the maternal health crisis is Black women are dying at 3 times the rate of their white counterparts. And while the statistic and inequity is important to discuss, I believe that there are other ways that I can advocate and study Black health outcomes without forefronting their negative experiences or presumed deviance for an audience such as yourself to care. I turned this belief into a reality with my dissertation research, which aims to not only create a new approach for environmental health sciences research, but apply this framework to a study looking at various environments on Black health outcomes. There are 2 major elements to my framework. First, my approach breaks down barriers between disciplines of study in order to see relationships between various arenas of life in order to more holistically understand a health outcome. In my work, I use mixed methods, a combination of qualitative and quantitative methods spanning from semi-structured interviews to statistical modeling, and engage with scholarship across the health, social, and physical sciences to understand how Black health outcomes exist as a product of these relationships between these various arenas of life, or as I call them, environments. Second, my approach no longer focuses on deficits like the statistic from earlier, which compared Black outcomes in deficit to white outcomes, thus positioning those as the ones to be desired. Instead, my framework identifies the unique position of a community within above connections rather than something to be compared to. I demonstrate the usefulness of this framework in 2 examples. First, I use qualitative methods where I explore the elements of Black midwifery care and show how this existing practice prioritizes healthy Black births by the way that they practice expansive, holistic, and personalized care. Second, I use quantitative methods and I apply my framework to an epidemiology study where I use meteorology variables such as extreme temperature exposure and other environmental variables to see the relationship to Black preterm birth outcomes in North Carolina. Beyond sophistication, this work can be applied to a variety of health outcomes in communities precisely because it identifies the unique position of a community within a web of connections. This work can expand the scope and depth of climate research by expanding on the ways that we use various outcomes, environments, and practices so that another young baby like her can do something amazing like this. Thank you.